So back in the day, man, real quick story. So I went on a date with this young lady one time back in the day in St. Louis, and she was, was fine, a young tender, one of the ones I had been trying to get at for a while. So I finally got the opportunity to take her on a date. And the date was cool. We went to Red Lobster and stuff like that. So went home, going to her crib, and I got out the car and I started to walk to the door. Because in my mind, we'd been on a nice date. We've been on the town. I spent a little bread on you. So we get to the door and she's still sitting in the car. I'm like, damn, why is she sitting in the car? So I walk back to her and I'm like, hey, what's going on? What are you doing? And she replied to me. She was just like, you're not going to open my door? And I became enraged, like furious, like the audacity of this chick to ask me to open her door. So I opened her door, but I was pissed. By the time she was putting her key in the door hole, I had already put my car in drive and I drove off the block. I look back on that and be like, dude, you was petty as hell. Like, what the hell was I thinking? There's nothing wrong with opening a woman's door, right? Years later, man, there was an author wrote a book and he spoke about love languages. And I always hear women talk about the love languages, the 5 love languages. And I'm like, what are the 5 love languages? Well, 1 is words of affirmation. 2, physical contact. 3, quality time. 4, receiving gifts. And 5, which is the last one I kind of think I have an issue with, is acts of service. Ooh-wee. I got an issue with that last one, acts of service. And I think that for women, if I ask you this question, what's your love language? And you tell me acts of service, you're probably going to be disqualified. In my mind, I'm like, nah, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not going to have any pressure put on me to have to support a lifestyle, to keep you happy with gifts and things. And I don't have nothing wrong with gifts. I always got to come home and, do something to prove my love to you or, just acts of service, right? Like, I think a gentleman and a man is going to do that anyway. It still boils back down to value. And maybe I just didn't value that young lady. But over the years, I've noticed when it comes to acts of service, I got a real issue with that. And maybe because I had lost a lot in the fire, dealing with child support and a lot of other systemic things that made me vulnerable and almost damn near dependent. So I think that subconsciously that bothers me. And I look at that as something on a conditional basis. But now, as far as the other 4 love languages, I completely get. I would say my particular favorite one is physical touch. Anybody that's ever known me, anybody that's ever dated me, I love to be touched. I love to come home from a hard day's work and just have the pressure eased off my body. That to me is probably the biggest and greatest thing that a person could show me and let me know how much they care about me, value me, and love me. Receiving gifts. I love to give gifts. I also like to receive them. It's no big deal because the gifts that I like are gifts that are, money don't have anything to do with it. It's just a thing that money can't buy. Small detail things, the considerations, the thoughts, right? Understanding me as a man, relating to my reality. To me, that's a form of gift. And quality time. We live in a busy world. Men and women are both are career workers. So you want to spend quality time. The kids grow up real quick. Before you know it, they're grown and have kids of their own, and you're now grandparents. Taking trips, going to ball games, family reunions and functions, or sometimes just chilling at the crib. And a lot of times, what a lot of y'all ladies don't understand, as a man gets older, we don't always want to be out in the streets. Women be like, oh, men don't want to date. It ain't that we don't want to date. We work hard. Look, I'm a hard worker. A lot of brothers I know that are hard workers. We don't always want to be out in the streets. We don't always want to be out clubbing, partying, always going to restaurants, functions, house parties. A lot of grown men, we like subtleties. And I think as we get older, that, you have to be able to cut off that second childhood. When I was growing up, our elders, when they became adults, they became adults. This generation don't want to grow up. So a lot of time when women be like, all men want to do is chill at the crib, like, because that's what we do. We stay out the way, we stay safe, and we live a long time. And when we do want to get out, we want to go to areas of constructive activities. But we don't always want to be out. So I don't understand when women be talking about men don't want to date. It ain't that we don't want to date. Just a man, as he gets older, mature men, mature people, women included, we don't always want to be in them streets. There's a lot of grown women I talk to be like, look, I'll be at the crib chilling. I'll be out the way. You get out every now and then, but I'm the same way. Now, some people say, well, I like to be outdoors. I think that's boring. Well, maybe that's you, but I can respect that. I can dig that. Quality time and words of affirmation, man. It's powerful to me when a black woman uplifts a black man and tells him what she thinks of him, how she's proud of him, how she will support him. To me, those are the greatest words of affirmation. As well as a man should always pick his woman up. We both, when we leave the house, we dealing with a world where the world is against us. You know, we got the eyesight against us. So when we come together, we need to reinsure and put in the refinement and let us know that we matter, we're enough, we belong, and we're good enough, right? So words of affirmation are very powerful. But that acts of service, man, I don't know why they came up with that one, because I got a real problem with that one, because you know what? I don't think I like the service much, to be honest with you. But again, I guess it comes down to value. I guess I just had horror stories because, you know, a lot of these chicks out here, man, it's all about what you could do for them and you don't do that. And it's all based on conditions. But being the man that I am, I'm cutthroat. I'm cutthroat. You get sliced at the door. And a lot of y'all have found that out. But I want to talk about the love language that is not a part of the 5, which I think is the most important. And you know what my love language is? If this is my personal love language that I would say is the greatest of all of them, communication. That's the greatest love language, communication. And we know that words of affirmation can pretty much be lodged in that same category of communication. To me, when a person is honest with you, transparent, forthcoming, and can keep it 100, man, that's a high form of love. If somebody loves you, they'll be honest and truthful with you, right? If they value you, they'll be honest and truthful with you. We might need to add value to that. You know what I mean? Because value is big on my list. You all know that if you follow this podcast, you follow me, everything that I speak on, I always talk about how value is much more powerful than love. But communication and simply just speaking, you know, you got to have conversations. A lot of times, man, with this dating thing, when I talk to a lot of grown women, I like to ask questions. I make it known, hey, I'm methodical. I'm very scientific. I'm very mathematical with things. And it's like they don't even know how to have a conversation, or they don't want to answer the questions, or they talk about the most dumb and stupid shit. And we're like in our 50s and you're talking about childlike things that mean nothing to me. Or you send me like useless videos or like clips on social media that I really don't care for, you know. Or if you're texting, ladies and gentlemen, if a person texts you all the time more than they actually pick up the phone, you didn't make the cut. The one thing about it is when people ask me a question, how do you know if somebody really care about you? And how do you know what people really value and they really love you? When I call, they pick up the phone. We live in a mediocre society. Family members ain't the way they used to be. Dating is nowhere near the way that it used to be. And everybody has become so redundant, so retarded and dumbed down because of AI technology and social media that if you can find somebody who has an elite level of communication skills, you better consider that a rare commodity, because that's almost a thing of the past. It doesn't even exist anymore. So communication is my love language. Talk to me and tell me how you feel. If I ask you to be honest with me, be brutally honest with me, because I'm a grown man at 50. If I meet a woman, I don't expect you to have a clean slate. I don't expect you to have a squeaky clean history. I don't care about your sexual past and how many men you've been with. I know a lot of men care about it. I don't care about, you know, a lot of your family histories and traumas. If I value, I will deal with that and I will accept it if it's something that I value. But shoot me straight and always be honest coming into the table. Let's have hard questions. Let's talk about things that's hard to talk about, right? Neely Fuller talks about in his book, and he always says this on lectures, that when people meet each other, a man and a woman meet each other, before you even go to the bedroom and have sex, you should ask at least 300 questions. You should have a real conversation. I'm a real conversationalist. I consider myself to be an elite communicator, right? I'm going to tell you how I feel. I'm going to tell you some of the things that, you know, I aspire to do, my expectations. But I will never tell you what I would look for in a woman, because if you don't embody these qualities, period, it's no need to force these things. But I'm a great communicator. You know, if I value you, hey, I will let you know, hey, my schedule's open, what you got going on, or this is my plans. If I don't value you, then there won't be no communications, you know. And people have gotten to the point now to where, because we live in a society that is so digital, nobody wants to read books anymore. Nobody wants to really have real true life activities. Me and my partner Calvin was talking about how in our generation we went outside, we did things, you know, we walked trails, we went hiking, you know, people, you know, a lot of people still go fishing, but people don't do things of the yesteryear, and the world is going to constantly change. But the one thing that has changed dramatically is communication and how people relate to one another. It is mind-blowing to me how any grown person, male or female, reaches the age of 50 and would rather text than actual talk. That is crazy to me. But another thing too, another love language is high level intelligence with a high level conversation. At my age, I don't want, if you're the message, if you want to make it about you and everything else, you're going to turn me off. That's low level communication. Cause I'm not going to learn anything because of your physical reality or your human experience, but you could teach me something. Give me a high level conversation and teach me something, right? A lot of people want to make it's about them and I'm the prize and all this. You know, I had a chick tell me Sunday, man, we was hanging out, man. I was hanging out with my homegirls and them. This chick gonna tell me she the prize, right? So, you know, with me thinking about communication, I'm like, so what makes you the prize? Because I hear this stupid shit all the time, right? And it's like the typical shit. I take care of my kids, stupid shit. I got my own car, stupid shit. I got my own house, stupid shit. So what makes you the prize? Oh, I'm a bad bitch. Oh, here we go. What makes you a bad bitch? Because I keep myself together. Stupid shit. I go to the gym 4 times a week. Stupid shit. I have not learned anything from you. That's not the prize. So my question was, have you figured out a cure for cancer? Are you an AI app developer? Do you have a way to retrieve and find girls involved in sex trafficking who are missing? Have you figured out any type of technology that can retrieve and find these girls? Have you figured out a way to cure any type of educational defects our children are facing in the school systems? Have you figured out a way to quell teen pregnancy? Have you figured out a way to kind of persuade people with any type of technology, strategy, some type of solution, maybe, you know, teaching people to take a sabbatical or something to combat and deal with drugs? If you ain't done none of these things, and it's just naming a few, there ain't fucking nothing prizable about you. And this can go for men too. We have to raise the level of our communication, because that's the greatest love language to me. And when you can sit down and have a real conversation with somebody that you find to be a love interest, and when you can be honest, truthful, and transparent with one another, the greatest things can happen. When you get uncomfortable conversations out the way, that's the greatest form of a love language, is communication. Talk to me. Don't text to me. I understand there are certain times that people need to text, right? But have a conversation with me. The one way I make a person feel valuable, and I learned this by the code, is when I ask a woman questions about herself, subconsciously she loves it and likes it. You know why? Because I made her feel valuable enough that I want to get to know about. I want to get to know more about her, that she means something to me, to want to get to know more about her. But if I make statements, or if I sit up there and I brag and talk about myself, that's low level conversation. If I can't pick her up and make her feel like she's the best woman on the planet, the most beautiful woman on the planet, the most intelligent woman on the planet, the greatest mother on the planet, what good am I to be in her life? And a lot of times it's only going to be received if she values you, if you're the man that she values, to receive this type of information from. Likewise with the men. So add communication to the love languages, because that thing right there is almost a thing of the past. They always say there's piss in the dating pool. A lot of y'all are the piss that you're talking about. You know why? Because of ego. You don't want to do the work. And I'm always go back to that. Is doing the work. That is my, what is that called? The slogan. That is my phrase that I say it. Do the work. When you do the work, the world starts to look different to you. When you start to do the work, you realize where you were going wrong in your own personal life. When you start to really do the work of self-improvement, you begin to realize your arrogance, your narcissism, your ego, right? Your pride has been the number one thing that has been blocking you from receiving open doors of blessings abundantly. Right? This is the number one thing that will attract people back into your life that really didn't want to be in your presence when they see you coming. And you will also begin to attract the right people in your life that will also begin to move you forward. I'm telling you, within the last 3 to 4 months, Dirty Red been doing the work. And it's a hard pill to swallow. I've been doing the work. The more I do the work, the more I begin to materialize my true image and my true being as an individual. But one thing that I know that is top on my list is communication. That's my number one love language. And I do like to be touched. I do like to be touched, y'all. But I got to find me a boo thing. So listen, tonight is the opening night of the NBA. I kind of see it in the background on my TV. History is about to be made. And there's a lot of people that's got an issue with LeBron. Listen. Yeah, there may be a little politics with it, but he's powerful enough to pull off and make history, right? And with the negative stuff that I see people say, lets me know that y'all ain't ready for real black power, as you say, or for black people to be in control running things. If you can't even handle a man who has enough power to pull his son into professional basketball, and we understand that there might be better players than Bronny. There might be other players who are deserving, right? But LeBron had the power to do it, right? Why he is relevant, why he is trending. And I'm here for it. And I want to see history made. See, I always say, go ahead and do what you're going to do in life and don't worry about the naysayers, because nobody right now that exists within your time of existence don't even matter. The only thing that matters is a story that history will tell about you when you're hundreds of years gone from this planet. And so at this time we're looking at tonight as a man, one of the greatest we ever seen play the game, takes the floor with his son. It will be one of the greatest things we've ever witnessed in basketball. I don't know if that's ever been done before. I know Ken Griffey Jr., Ken Griffey Sr. played ball. I know the Manning brothers, their father. There's always been a lot of father-son tandems, right? Nobody ever said nothing about that. Nobody ever pitched the bitch about it. Like my guy Brian Mitchell said earlier tonight on the podcast. And if you haven't, go ahead over to IG Black Card Podcast. They talk about it all. This is a players era basketball league. The players now have the power. The players now have control. Why not it be somebody like LeBron, who's been great for the people, great for the community, building schools, you know what I'm saying, married to a black woman, love his children, an excellent father, philanthropist, TV executive producer of series. Like, the dude is a good dude. So let that man be great and make history, all right? My Sac Town, I think our first game, we opened up Thursday night. Light the beam. We opened up Thursday night against, we got the Timberwolves. We got the newly revamped Timberwolves, and I'm here for it. Also today, if you have not picked up your copy, look, Negroes, black people, black guys, the book is not that thick. 56 pages of power, y'all. All right. People be like, why did you write the book so small? So listen, I get straight to the point. My market, and like I said, when I started to write, I know this is not to get rich. Anything I do for my people, I know I'm not going to get rich. The mission is not to get rich, but my mission is to help self-improvement for black men and men in general, for the sole purpose of being the greatest fathers that you can be. Be the greatest fathers that you can be. That's what this is all about, right? And teaching kids how to talk, communication skill. The first and foremost, most important thing, communication is the greatest love language. Communication, right? So yeah, man. So basically in that book, you just talk about several different things about your health. I think I talk about the 7 type of different women to avoid, regaining your spiritual and mental peace. And also I always say my word is not the end all be all, but these are suggestions that I submitted to the world. This is my offering to the world and what I think will work. And it's always based on the premise of understanding that we exist in a reality of white supremacy, the system of white supremacy and racism. All right. Solid, man. Y'all like this fly ass hat, man? Yo, shout out to D'Amico and all them boys down there at the G1 location. Shout out, bro. I really like this. I like this brim, bro. I like this. You know what I'm saying? I feel like one of y'all young boys, right? This really is a fly ass hat. I ain't gonna lie if I say so myself. Pink Panther pimping, baby. Pink Panther pimping. So look, I'm gonna put the link for the book down in the comment sections. And listen, tell me what your favorite love language is. Drop it down there in the comments. Another thing too, I'm gonna give a shout out to Big Fred from Bama or BMF. Brother, you've been supporting that show. Every time I see you, you show me love. I think, also Alan Hunter, he's a dope ass photographer. Shout out to Alan Hunter. Shout out to my fellow Steel Curtain head, Will Chambliss. I hope I ain't say your last name. Big Will is what I'm gonna say. Leadoff hitter for Miami Power. 55 years old and still banging it, man. Still one of the best to play the game. Still one of the best at it. You know what I'm saying? I always wish I was a lefty. But I want to give a shout out to y'all brothers. I recently seen y'all at the Senior Worlds. And, man, y'all brothers show me love. As well as everybody, when I see you, you always show me love. Thank you for supporting the show, man. Hey, like, share, subscribe. Tell a problem solver to come on in. Hey, let's get this thing to 500 viewers. I plan to grow. I finally got a team behind me, so I got to follow the steps because I really want to grow. And you will see me on TED Talk. I've been practicing my presentations. I be here by myself and I just be, look, your boy about to do some good things. I'm in a good place. And it's only because I done the work. It's only because I've done the work of self-improvement. I treat people better. I talk to people better. And guess what? I cut all the bullshit off. Straight up. And you know what else I did? I went in my contacts. I think in my phone, I have, no exaggeration, 257 blocked contacts. On IG, I have 309 blocked accounts. On Facebook, my old account, because I have 2 pages, my old account, I want to say it's somewhere in the 400s where I have people blocked. My phone contacts have all been unblocked. I don't know what made me do it. I just did it. Some just told me unblock it. You don't know who's trying to reach out to you. You don't know who may need you in their darkest moment, in their darkest hour. So now y'all don't have to download no more Google numbers and all these spam, these numbers I get. Listen, hey, it's all good. Listen, I have no beef with nobody. So it's straight. So nobody's blocked no more. There you go. You know what I'm saying? Even your goofy ass from 2 weeks ago, you unblocked with your goofy ass. Shout out to my dad and my mom as always. Shout out to my brothers, Jay Crazy, Fresh, my nieces and nephews. You know what I'm saying? Just shout out to everybody that's been really rocking in my corner. You know what I'm saying? Just been rocking with me. Special shout out to Monica. Yay. Special shout out to goddamn Retha. Yay. Alabama stand up. Shout out to Bev. Shout out to everybody. I don't know what it is with these shout outs. I don't know what made me just start wanting to do all these shout outs, but I've been shouting out everybody. Shout out to all my cats I be hooping with at Snellville, because the OG I still give y'all buckets, right? Right after I strain my Achilles, but I'll be back. You know what I'm saying? Just shout out to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Drinks on me. Drinks on everybody. One drink for everybody in the building. One drink and passing and sip along. No, I'm just joking. Just shout out to people, y'all. I'm in a happy mood. I'm a happier guy, I guess. I don't know. I'm rambling on. But listen, the biggest mistake that you can make in life. Listen, man, if y'all don't hear me, get my subscribers so I can really start monetizing, because y'all see I need to get some real deal headphones. Like, support your boy, man. Support your boy. You can start by going to get this book so you can get your country ass better too. You know what I'm saying? And you can unblock the people you've been blocking out. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you might be blocking your blessings. One of them people might hit the lottery or something, might think about your ass and want to give you a couple million, but you got them blocked, right? But listen, this is the place where we're bringing sexy back to, damn. It's been a while since I've been kind of slowing down on my content, because everybody and their mama got a show. Everybody and their mama podcast, and everybody and their mama talking. So I just figured I'd slow down a little bit. Wait a minute. Give me a second. Hold on. This is the place where we bring sexy back. This is the place where we bring sexy back to the everyday hardworking men and women who impact your life within close proximity. We want to rise above this madness, which is black culture. And the biggest mistake that you can make in life. See, when you don't do something, you get shabby. They say if you got a gift, you don't use it, you lose it, right? Right. But the biggest mistake that you can make in life is to think that you got time. Until next time, I will catch up with y'all. I do have exciting guests coming on, and I got my first show coming up for my interview, my book. It'll be coming soon. But until then, man, everybody continue to do the work. Do the work. Do the work. Peace.